So, hi everybody. I'm going to be sitting a little bit outside of the picture, so you'll just see the shrine room and you'll see Jolie and maybe Clarence. But we'll stop after we do our little bit of program and have a chance to connect a little bit more personally about Ken Rinpoche. But let's start. We're going to just start with a few minutes of meditation. Just thinking about the blessing of having met someone like Khensure Rinpoche, whether you met him when he was Genna or Geshe-la, and then became Ken Rinpoche, and then Khensure Rinpoche. Who is this magical being that we all met? Or Lobsang, how we met him, for most of us, I think, brought us into this amazing connection with the Dharma, the Buddha Dharma. So let's just take a little moment. Maybe some of you haven't even met him. I know my friend Andrea, who I met after Ken Rinpoche was no longer coming to our country, has really benefited from the Dharma. And that's only been because of my own benefit from the Dharma through having met Rinpoche. So whether you've met him directly in person or not, just think about this idea of dependent arising. In Buddhism, that means everything happens through causes and conditions. Nothing's just random. Everything has reasons that come together. So just take a little couple moments here to draw your heart into the space that you're sitting in and really call your heart out to Khensure Rinpoche. I'm sure he's here with us in spirit right now. We'll try to get him briefly on the video for a few minutes later. But just now, just bringing really this, going back, now we have permission, we can look back on our amazing lives and the moment that we saw his appearance in our life, is how we would say it in the Buddhist parlance. Is how did he appear? When did he appear? What was the instant that you made this connection with this amazing, heartfelt, full of love, compassionate, wise being? What was happening in your life at the time that your heart and mind were reaching out to connect with something beyond yourself, something into the sacred realm of Dharma, of a spiritual path, and really reaching out and yearning to connect with an authentic being? What was happening at that point in your earthly walk? That helped your heart open and unfold and reach out with a beam of light to connect with his heart light. What was it that you were looking for or hoping for even prior to meeting him that helped bring this amazing connection into your life path? And what was the first quality about this being that struck you, that really drew you closer to him? What quality helped you open and gravitate and connect with him that he showed from his side? So now to bring his presence even more mixing with your mind stream, you can think and repeat either out loud or silently these 4 lines that we say to bring the Guru closer, to bring the Lama closer. Namo Guru Veya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Guru Veya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Guru Veya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sangaya. So it's said if you sing or repeat silently or out loud these 4 lines, the way a child is calling for her mother, if she's lost her somewhere, that if you really yearn for the presence through these 4 lines, Namo Guru Veya means I give praise and seeking the blessings of the Guru. Namo Buddhaya, also I seek praise and I give praise and seek blessings of the Buddha. Namo Dharmaya, I give praise and seek blessings of the Dharma. Namo Sangaya, I give praise and seek blessings of the Sangha. You really, His Holiness the Dalai Lama said once, if we recite these like that child who's lost her mother, a young child who's very afraid in the wilderness somewhere, really calling out for her mother, knowing that her own life is in danger if she won't reconnect with her mother, that she may be lost in the wilderness forever. If you call out to your teacher that way, then immediately they're there with you, and you can feel that in your heart. There's kind of a warm glow of bodhicitta, of awakening mind, because in fact, in truth and reality, there is no separation between our mind and the Guru's mind or the Buddha's mind. There is no separation between our wanting blessings from the Dharma and the Dharma being able to bless us. And there is no separation between the Sangha that's attained awakening and enlightening qualities, and there is no separation between the Sangha that's still striving for enlightenment and awakening. When the heart is pure and the motivation is pure, those blessings and that presence are always available to us. And all we have to do is remember them and invite them to become more present and with more awareness. So as you continue to meditate on your connection with Khensure Rinpoche, I would just like to read a little bit of a prayer and a little bit of a history that we wrote for this occasion, thinking about the connection and thinking about stories that I heard directly from Khensure Rinpoche about his life that I didn't know if everybody had heard. So I put it into a very old school format that is a recollection of the awakening qualities of an amazing master. And this is a kind of a Tibetan format. So if it sounds a little bit funny, this is why, but I think the format is quite beautiful. It's prose, but it sounds very poetic. So these have some of his life story included. Most precious His Eminence Kaybje Khensure Rinpoche obeisance and heartfelt greetings to the one who is a wish-fulfilling jewel, holder of the pure Dharma and bringer of happiness and joy for all without discrimination. You who spread the inconceivable truth in every direction to quell all beings' sorrow, who speaks in the voice of Manjushri and smiles with the heart of Aryatara. Glorious Vajradhara, how to express anything of import to you. For all who have been blessed with your acquaintance will surely one day be freed, be led to freedom and to the ultimate happiness. Of this we have no doubt. And so to say happy birthday sounds like a croak of a frog in comparison. And therefore, how to adequately give even the smallest gift of a wish of gratitude to someone who has brought the entire brilliance of the sun. Surely this would be like a candle seeking to honor the great star with some light. Still, from genuine love and devotion, my heart is stirred to express some humble words of gratitude from a poor beggar, such as the one you met and kindly befriended in 2002, who had any kind of fortune to meet your lotus-born appearance because you made the effort to come to these faraway shores, so distant from the highest, most supreme place you appeared in long ago. Your own mother, knowing of your precious birth, gave away her most beloved and cared for child as a servant to help the virtue of the one, to help support the virtue of the one called Chenrezig, Lord and protector of all beings. She showed you every day of your young life the land of Tibet, where you would go, and until then she gave you every kind of benefit and special attention. When your time to follow the way of the Muni came, you defeated your fear of death at a young age, tending to a corpse and overcoming fear that only arises from within. When most teenagers had the aspirations to chase Chang and girls, you asked your uncle and father to walk with you to Tibet and begged for the sustenance along the entire route as a humble monk already at the age of 16, supporting all with the appearance of the robes and giving to your elders the food for their bodies. Enduring the harsh climate of Tibet and a hard cane of your benefactor, you applied yourself without fail to rise in the ranks of the great practitioners at Tashi Gatsel, and there you remained even after the invasion of death and despair, which drove the wish-fulfilling jewel out of the land of his origin. Walking back and catching rides over months back to India, carrying sacred items for preservation, you again strove to serve others as a teacher, and then again as a student carrying on with your studies in Varanasi. Always placing the Dharma and being's happiness above your own, you were not even able to be at the side of your precious mother when she passed away. Again, seeing that your mind was unsatisfied with the level of learning, you traveled far to complete the task, coming to a land across many lands and oceans in order to complete the task. This is how we all had the wonderful fortune to come to know of your life. You remained as a dedicated practitioner and holder of the Nyaya and Sutra, Tantra, and Abhidharma, and shared that knowledge in your smile, warm heart, and clear wisdom. When hearing of your noble activities to create new opportunities for education and to preserve the amazing Tibetan Buddhist Vajrayana monastic institution in exile, Tashi Gatsel, all the support flowed to your lotus feet, as these are valid and worthy endeavors, and caused the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and ordinary beings to rejoice and aid. Honor to these great deeds. If anyone would doubt that they are meeting a genuine being when coming into contact with you, surely they do not have the eyes to see, nor ears to hear. But we of great fortune are blessed by your kindness, and so offer these lines of praise to celebrate your 85th worldly year of life, although it is quite clear by now that you are of a timeless essence. Please do not find these words to be of flattery, moreover, only of truth. Thus have I heard directly, and thus do I record for the sake of others' happiness and joy to hear for the first time. May all beings be joyful and free, and may the Dharma long remain to bring benefit. Please keep me in your service and close to your heart to uphold all of the noble works as you see fit. And may we be among the first to witness your great attainment. Hold us in your great altruistic love and compassion until that time. Please, please live long and remain until all have breathed the breath of true freedom, liberation, and realization. A devoted student of the lowest quality, the one who sits in the back row of the temple, feeling lucky to be there. Tenzin Dasel, whoever that is. Now we have a little guided meditation on green Tara, because I think, as everyone knows, Rinpoche really is an emanation of Tara, and he's so devoted to her. He was traveling nowhere without her in his little traveling shrine. And so she seemed to be the right practice to do today. And also to say to everybody, Losar Tashi Delay, it's also Losar. So we have quite auspicious timing coming together. And Tara, the liberator, is really the savioress of all sentient beings. And she made the pledge to remain until all beings reached enlightenment, to serve in the aspect of a female. And although Rinpoche clearly is in a monk's appearance, I think his essence is quite Arya Tara. He's got quite the same dedication and laugh and light as her beautiful, all-completing wisdom activities bring. And so a number of Indian pundits and yogis have become enlightened through the practice of this yoga method. And in Tibet, countless Tibetan lamas accomplished all the sutra and tantra realizations by relying on Tara. And therefore, as long as we continue to observe the law of karma, and we never doubt that our actions and our practice of our dharma are bringing us closer to enlightenment, they are, and Tara will always help us to reach enlightenment. So the actual practice is called a glance meditation on the graduated path. Refuge. I take refuge in the Holy Guru, essence of all Buddhas, original grantor of all holy teachings, and Lord of all supreme beings. Please, Guru Buddhas, bestow on us the ability to unify our mind with the Dharma and be successful in practicing Dharma in order to achieve the graduated path. May no hindrances occur while achieving this path. Please bless us to realize that we have received a perfect, precious human rebirth, which is highly meaningful and for many reasons difficult to obtain, but perishable, transient, and fragile, decaying even in the shortest moment because of its changeable nature. Thus, death is definite, but its actual time is most indefinite. And after death, we don't know where we might be reborn. Therefore, please bless us to comprehend how incredibly unendurable is the suffering of the lower realms, so that we take sincere refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha with all of our heart, and realize the evolution of karma in all of its profundity, so that we may perform only virtuous actions and abandon all negative creations. By practicing in this way, we will be reborn in the upper realms, but will still have to experience unlimited samsaric suffering because of uncontrolled delusion and karma. Please bless us to realize fully the evolution of samsara, from uncontrolled rebirth to death to rebirth, and to follow day and night the three higher trainings of the path: morality, higher concentration, and higher wisdom, which are the main methods to release us from samsara. But as each sentient being has been our mother, and as most of them are in extreme suffering, please bless us to bring success to all by renouncing the perfect happiness of self and practicing the Bodhisattva's deeds of the six perfections with the Bodhisattva's mind of exchanging self with others on the basis of the equanimity meditation. Thus shall we have no sorrow in experiencing the samsaric suffering of all other sentient beings for no matter how long, having trained our mind in the general path. Please bless us to follow the quick Vajrayana teachings by feeling sentient beings suffering very unimaginably unbearable for even the shortest moment as our own, and to achieve the attainment of Shakyamuni Buddha immediately at this very moment by keeping our ordinations and instructions of the Guru with the best and highest care in life for the sole purpose of enlightening all sentient beings. And this part is a visualization, so if it helps you to visualize, you can close your eyes for this part. Above the crown of my head, I visualize a lotus and moon disk. Upon these is the great treasury of compassion, Aryatara, Mother of all enlightened beings, who is oneness with my kind root guru. My guru is seated in a full lotus position with a transparent bubble of rainbow color light, is pink in complexion and wears saffron robes and a pandit's hat. His right hand is at his heart in the gesture of teaching the Dharma, and holds a vajra in the stem of a white lotus that blooms beside his right ear. His left hand rests on his hip, holding a bell in the stem of another white lotus that blooms beside his left ear. At my guru's heart is Aryatara in female aspect, green in color and seated in the dancing posture within a rainbow bubble. Her left leg is bent up and her right leg is outstretched. Her left hand is at her heart in the mudra symbolizing the three gems and holding the stem of a blue Utpali flower. Her right hand extended over her right knee is in the mudra of granting sublime realizations. She is beautifully adorned with jewel ornaments and scarves, and at her three places bears the syllables Om Ah Hum. At her heart is a lotus and moon seat on which stands a radiant green syllable Tam. Rays of green light radiate in all directions and invoke all the enlightened beings of the 10 directions. They are all absorbed into Aryatara and become one. Make a heartfelt prayer. Please remain above my head until I receive enlightenment. you can repeat silently in your heart and your mind, refuge and bodhicitta. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly by my merit from giving and other perfections. May I become Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly by my merit from giving and other perfections. May I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly by my merit from giving and other perfections. May I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Chodam Soki Chognam Ma Chamchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Jinsoki Pesanam Ki Jola Penjir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Chodam Soki Chognam Ma Chamchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Jinsoki Pesanam Ki Jola Penjir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Chodam Soki Chognam Ma Chamchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Jinsoki Pesanam Ki Jola Penjir Sangye Druparsho. In particular, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, quickly, I must somehow obtain the precious state of complete and perfect Buddhahood. Therefore, I shall practice the yoga of Venerable Aryatara. With my body, speech, and mind, I devoutly prostrate. I offer all offerings, both real and imagined, all sins and offenses amassed from beginningless time, I confess. I rejoice in all virtuous actions of holy and ordinary beings. O Gurus and Buddhas, please remain until samsara ends and turn the wheel of the Dharma for sentient beings. All my virtues and those of all others I dedicate to the great enlightenment. Samchen tamche de wadang de wei yudan dem park your chi. Dunel dong dunel ji yudan drawart your chi. Dunel me pe de wadam padan mindra wart your chi. Nering chadang ni dang jawe tangyong chabavane park your chi. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from bliss without sorrow. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from the extremes of attachment and aversion, greed and hatred. Samchen tamche de wadang de wei yudan dem park your chi. Dunel dang dunel ji yudan drawart your chi. Dunel me pe de wadam padan min drawart your chi. Nering chadang ni dang drawe tangyong chapalane park your chi. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from bliss without sorrow. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from the extremes of attachment and aversion, greed and hatred. The expanded seven-limb prayer written by His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama while still a teenager. Imagining prostrating. Your liberating body is fully adorned with all the signs of a Buddha, your melodious speech complete with all the 60 rhythms flows without hesitation. Your vast, profound mind filled with wisdom and compassion is beyond all conceptions. I prostrate to the wheel of these three secret adornments of your body, speech, and mind. Offerings. Material offerings of my own and others, the actual objects and those that I visualize, body and wealth and all virtues amassed throughout the three times, I offer to you upon visualized oceans of clouds like Samantabhadra's offerings. Confessing, my mind being oppressed by the stifling darkness of ignorance, I have done many wrongs against reason and vows. Whatever mistakes I have made in the past, with a deep sense of regret, I pledge never to repeat them, and without reservation, I confess everything to you. Rejoicing. From the depths of my heart, I rejoice in the enlightening deeds of the sublime masters and in the virtuous actions, past, present, and future, performed by myself and all others as well. and by ordinary and exalted beings of the three sacred traditions. Requesting. I request you to awaken every living being from the sleep of ordinary and instinctive defilements with the divine music of the Dharma's pure truth, resounding with the melody of profoundness and peace, and in accordance with the dispositions of your various disciples. Entreating, I entreat you to firmly establish your feet upon the indestructible Vajra throne in the indissoluble state of Evam, until every sentient being gains the calm breath of joy in the state of final realization, unfettered by the extremes of worldliness or tranquil liberation. Dedication. I totally dedicate my virtuous actions of all three times so that I may receive continuous care from a master and attain full enlightenment for the benefit of all through accomplishing my prayers, the supreme deed of Samantabhadra, the all-good. Now we'll make a mandala offering. Sashi Poki Jugjing Meto Twamri Rablingji Nide Yen Pati Sangye Jindu Nite Yuwa Yidro Kunamda Jingla Choparsho. Dagi Chagdang Monsum Kewe Yuldra Nyen Barsum Ludang Long Chuche Angpa Mepar Bogi Lekshe Neduk Sumransar Drohar Jingilo. And in English it sounds like this. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. The objects of my attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, strangers, and my body, wealth, and enjoyments, without any sense of loss, I offer this collection. Please accept it with pleasure and bless me with freedom from the 3 poisons of ignorance, desire, and hatred. Om Yadam Guru Radhamandalam Kamyuryatayami. And now for the purification part of the visualization, think to Aryatara you're making requests, and to your Guru. Please bless me to purify all obscurations, any non-virtues of my body, so that it will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra body. Then you visualize white light emanating from the Om at Aryatara's brow and curving into an arc to enter your own brow, the space a little bit above between the eyebrows, and feel your body filling with white light, washing out any negativities of these 3 poisons, cleansing your body of any ignorance, desire, or hatred. You feel my body is purified completely of all obscurations and becomes one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra body. next purification for the speech. You think, please bless me to purify all obscurations of my speech, so that it will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra speech. And now red light emanates from the ah at Aryatara's throat and curves into an arc to enter my throat. My speech is purified completely of all obscurations and becomes one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra speech. And next we purify the mind. And thinking like this, please bless me to purify all obscurations of my mind, so that it will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra mind. Blue light emanates from the womb at Aryatara's heart and curves into an arc to enter my heart. Blue light fills my heart mind, and my mind is purified of all obscurations and becomes one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra mind. And now all three together. Please bless me to purify all delusions and subtle obscurations to omniscience, so that my body, speech, and mind will become one with Guru Tara's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind. Now the three color beams emanate simultaneously from the Om, Ah, and Hum syllables from the forehead, throat, and heart of Aryatara, curving in an arc and entering my three places, completely purifying all my delusions and subtle obscurations to omniscience. My body, speech, and mind become one in essence with Gurutara's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind. My root guru dissolves into Aryatara, who melts into green light, which flows into me. Instantly, my wrong conception that I and all other phenomena are self-existent, together with my dualistic mind and its views, disappear, becoming completely empty. Not even a trace of them remains. Concentrate one-pointedly in this empty state with the wisdom that is indistinguishably one with Gurutara's blissful, omniscient mind of all accomplishing wisdom. Then, out of that emptiness, my mind manifests instantly as Aryatara's holy body seated upon a lotus and moon cushion. At my heart is another lotus and moon, upon which In the center stands the syllable Tam, green, circled clockwise direction by the syllables of the mantra Om Tare Tutare Ture Swaha. The Tam syllable and the mantra are manifestations of Guru Tara's holy mind, with which my mind is totally united. Union oneness. Green light radiates from all the letters, spreading in every direction. It purifies the negative karmas, gross delusions, and subtle obscurations to omniscience of all sentient beings who become Tara. Again, light radiates, bearing manifold offerings to the 6 transcendental senses of all the Buddhas and sentient beings who have become Tara. The enlightened beings are extremely pleased and shower down the superlative qualities of Buddha Tara's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind, omniscient wisdom, supreme power, and infinite compassion in the form of a great shower of light rays. And please recite the mantra either out loud or silently and absorb these light rays and be blessed by this rain. Om Tare Tutare Ture Swaha. 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 Praises to the 21 Taras. Invocation. From your sublime abode at the Potala, O Tara, born from the green letter Tam, your crown adorned with Amitabha, action mother of the Buddhas of the three times, Tara, please come with your attendants. The gods and demigods bow to your lotus feet, O Tara, you who rescue all who are destitute. To you, Mother Tara, I pay homage. Om, I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Homage, Tara, swift, heroic, eyes like lightning, instantaneous, sprung from the opening stamens of the Lord of the three worlds, tear-born lotus. Homage, she whose face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest, blazing with light rays resplendent as 1,000 star collection. Homage, golden blue one, lotus waterborn and hand adorned, giving effort, calm, austerities, patience, meditation, her sphere. Homage, crown of Tathagatas, actions triumph without limit, relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection. Homage, filling with Tutarde, whom desire direction and space, trampling with her feet the seven worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage, worshipped by the all-lords, Chakra, Agni, Brahma, Maru, honored by the hosts of spirits, corpse raisers, Gandharvas, Yakshas. Homage with her tre and pet sounds, totally destroying foes' magic diagrams. Her feet pressing left out, right in, blazing in a raging fire blaze. Homage, Ture, very dreadful, destroyer of Mara's champions. She with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies. Homage, at the heart, her fingers adorned her with the three-jewel mudra. Light ray masses, all excited, all directions, wheels adorn her. Homage, she so joyous, radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful, laughing with Tutarde, subjugating Mara's devas. Homage, she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking, frowning with her home sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage, crown adorned with crescent moon, all ornaments most shining. Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage, she midwreath ablaze like eon ending fire abiding. Right stretched, left bent, joy surrounds you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage, she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter whom the seven levels she does conquer. Homage, happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is peace, nirvana. She endowed with Om and Swaha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage, which she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder. Freeze with whom and knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage, Ture, with seed letter of the shape of syllable whom, by foot stamping shakes the three worlds, Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya. Homage, holding in her hand the Hari-marked moon of Deva-like form, with twice spoken Tara and Pe, totally dispelling poison. Homage, she whom gods and their kings and the Kinnaras do honor, armored in all joyful splendor, she dispels bad dreams and conflicts. Homage, she whose two eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon, with twice Hara and Tutarde, she dispels severe contagion. Homage, full of liberating power by the set of the three natures, destroys hosts of spirits, yakshas, and raise corpses, supreme, Ture. These praises with the root mantras and prostrations thus are 21. Now we do the dissolution. The field of merit and universal environment sinks into you as Tara. The way a dream is kind of cloudy and a mirage vision. Ayatara that absorbs into this Tom syllable. If you don't know the Tom, just green light into your heart center. And then this bright green light slowly, slowly begins to grow dimmer. If you know what the Tom syllable is, the next step is the Achung dissolves into the Ta, with fields of sparks, then the Ta body into the head, with the dim flame vision, and the Ta head into the crescent white vision, the crescent into the Tigle, the dot, the red vision, and the dot into the flame, the nada of the black vision. And if you're using the green light slowly from bright going dimmer, at the end, the flame disappears or the green light disappears and you're left with just clear light, very clear light vision, like the morning sunrise before the sun actually rises up, but the clarity when the sky is very bright in the very early dawn. In our dedications, through the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Aryatara and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. Jangchu Semcho Rinpoche Make Panam Ke Gyorchi Kewa Nampar Me Par Yang Bone Gondu Pelwar Show. So we're going to just slowly come out of your meditation and see if we can with our rejoicing hearts and connections as Aryatara, likewise connect with our guest of honor if he's available. I don't know, but we'll try to see if Khensure Rinpoche might join us briefly. Not available. Maybe he'll call back if he is later. So we'll wait and see if Rinpoche is available to call back. So we'll say one more closing prayer of a very beautiful one for the world peace before we come out of our full Tara meditation. And the essence is to always carry the wish, may all beings find kindness and joy in their hearts. And this is a beautiful prayer, especially for these times that we're in now, with so much challenge between epidemics and wars and difficulties between beings. This is from Shantideva's Bodhicharya Avatara, the way of the Bodhisattva. May all beings everywhere plagued by sufferings of body and mind obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. There's usually one that says, and may combatants come to have loving minds, which seems especially relevant right now. So if you have a Tashi Gatsel Ling prayer booklet, let's turn to page 21 and we'll say the Long Life Prayer. That was written many, many years ago now for Khensure Rinpoche before he retired from his position. So his old title was Ken, and then that's for an abbot of a monastery, and once you retire, you get this suffix SUR, meaning former abbot, Khensure. So on page 21 in the Tashi Gatsel Ling prayer booklet, a long life prayer for Kaybje Khensure Lobsang Tsetan, the supremely precious former abbot of the great monastery Tashi Lumpo. I offer prostrations and prayers with single-minded faith to the gurus whose kindness is unequaled, and who, with skillful means and without an instant's rest, reveal to living beings so illusory the path of benefit and happiness, without moving from the sphere of dependent arising and the elimination of elaborations, having gone to bliss by the path of valid cognition, in incontrovertible dependent arising, to the Buddhas, deities, and personal deities, Vajradhara and the rest, to the lords of the three lineages, protectors, and to the assembly of the great heroes and dakinis, O compassionate supreme beings, please bestow on me good fortune. May you be victorious, O supreme noble being, Avalokiteshvara, deeply kind master, destined to be the deity of the land of snow's beings, just as prophesied by Amitabha, the teacher Buddha, epitome of the four bodies, and so on, who, having upheld and tamed Tibet, expanded the power and influence of the Tibetan teachings and government with the activities of a Dharma king, an ancestral king, and the like, and increased the human population and brought them together with material goods and teachings. Though, after long Dharma decline, obstacles and hindrances arose, you again performed unsurpassable kindnesses here in Tibet, increasing the opportunities for happiness in the Tibetan teachings and governance through emanations of the greatly compassionate one and the like. Furthermore, during the perilous time when Tibet became like a hell on earth due to the occupation of the Red Chinese, because of the kindness of powerful Avalokiteshvara, the supreme 14th protector, religion and government could breathe a sigh of relief. When one searches for the object imputed, there is no essence, just as it is with the plantain tree. Yet due to the dependent arising of causes and conditions, there is the tragedy of this great threat to the sage's teaching, root of happiness for the land of snow, and all beings are mothers. I pray for the long life of the King of the victorious ones, the supreme protector, who brings well-being to all living beings, to the teaching and especially to Tibet, through his unequaled courage and altruistic spirit of enlightenment, which are equal in measure to all the troubles. I pray for the long life of all those who uphold the teaching, who do so without bias, and who take responsibility for its increase and preservation by first understanding the victorious one's teachings in general, and in particular the Tibetan teachings of the Yellow Hats, to be the root of all beings' happiness, and then by practicing and explaining them. In particular, I pray for the one who knows all the scriptures with the power of his intelligence, to have a long life through the solid strength of his mind and his mastery of life, in order to benefit the teachings and all beings with his good, wholehearted resolve. In general, the disappearance of the supreme protector of all beings and the teaching draws near. In particular, the land of snow's teachings and government are in crisis. It is a bodhisattva deed to uphold the teaching and work for the benefit of all beings by wholeheartedly assuming the responsibility of the thought to help them. Therefore, in this time of great peril and the degenerate age, I pray for you to have a long life, wherein you have considered the general and the particular with a special altruistic spirit, perseverance, patience, and with discernment and in accord with the magnificent thought of the snowy region's protector. And maybe we can turn to page 28 and say our Bodhisattva vows. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. And I'm going to just read one long life prayer for all of us gathered here now of Ken Rinpoche's disciples to Arya Tara, White Tara. In her white aspect, she's the extender and preserver of long life. So we'll read this and then we'll just finish with our prayers from the booklet on pages 26 and 27. I bow down to the venerable Arya Tara, liberating from cyclic existence. She is called Tara. By Tara she frees from the 8 fears, and by Ture she frees from illness. I bow down to Tara, the mother. In the center of a white lotus, upon a moon seed, sitting in the Vajra cross-legged posture, I bow down to her who bestows the supreme accomplishments, having the complexion of 1,000 autumn moons. Having behind her a moon curtain, adorned with various ornaments, I bow down to the holder of the Utpala. Possessing the body which has reached 16 years, she of whom all perfected Buddhas are offspring, mother, who possesses the body which bestows all wishes, I bow down to Arya Tara. A white wheel blazing with rays of light, 8 syllables forming the 8 spokes, having the aspect of completely turning, I bow down to the possessor of the wheel. Arya Tara, the mother who liberates, you who increase life by the wish-fulfilling wheel, by this supplication to you, Goddess, from the obstacles to our lives, from all illness and suffering, I beseech you to protect us, you who have the power, all supreme and common accomplishments without exception, grant to us. Arya, those faithful to you, you always regard as your own child. I also pray to you, please hold us with the hook of compassion. Goddess whose body color is like the color of the moon, your appearance combines youthful grace with self-discipline. Your body is adorned with precious gems with a charming silk skirt. You sit in the center of a lotus and moon cushion, with 2 legs in the Vajra cross-legged posture, with 1 face and 2 hands, with a slight smile. Mother who gives birth to the Buddhas of the 3 times, I always bow down to you, Goddess. Through this small praise to you, in order that we may accomplish enlightenment, hold us from this time until enlightenment. May unfavorable conditions be pacified and favorable conditions perfected. Om Tali Tude Mama Yorpaneshana Pushtum Kuruye Swaha. 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 Venerable Doma, I pray that you may increase and extend the life and merits of myself and all sentient beings limitless as the sky. Please prolong our lives. Please pacify illness and harm. Please purify all misdeeds and obscurations. Please make us quickly achieve the supreme and common accomplishments. Venerable Doma, I pray that you may increase and extend the life and merits of myself and all sentient beings limitless as the sky. Please prolong our lives. Please pacify illness and harm. Please purify all misdeeds and obscurations. Please make us quickly achieve the supreme and common accomplishments. Venerable Doma, I pray that you may increase and extend the life and merits of myself and all sentient beings, limitless as the sky. Please prolong our lives. Please pacify illness and harm. Please purify all misdeeds and obscurations. Please make us quickly achieve the supreme and common accomplishments. All the ocean of holy Dharma, the sutras and group of tantras, having understood well, may I teach others, hold the victory banner of correct practice, and persevere until samsara is emptied. I bow down to the Venerable Aryatara, liberating from cyclic existence. She is called Tara. By Tara she frees from the 8 fears. By Tara she frees from illness. I bow down to Tara, the mother. In the center of a white lotus upon a moon seat, sitting in the Vajra cross-legged posture, I bow down to her who bestows the supreme accomplishments. Having the complexion of 1,000 autumn moons, having behind her a moon curtain adorned with various ornaments, I bow down to the holder of the Utpala. Possessing the body which has reached 16 years, she of whom all perfected Buddhas are offspring, mother who possesses the body which bestows all wishes, I bow down to Aryatara. A white wheel blazing with rays of light, 8 syllables forming the 8 spokes, having the aspect of completely turning, I bow down to the possessor of the wheel. Aryatara, the mother who liberates, you who increase life by the wish-fulfilling wheel, by the supplication to you, goddess, from the obstacles to our lives, from all illness and suffering, I beseech you to protect us. You who have the power, all supreme and common accomplishments, without exception, grant to us. Arya, those faithful to you, you always regard as your own child. I also pray to you, please hold us with the hook of compassion. Goddess, whose body color is like the color of the moon. Your appearance combines youthful grace with self-discipline. Your body is adorned with precious gems, with a charming silk skirt. You sit in the center of a lotus and moon cushion, with 2 legs in the Vajra cross-legged posture, with 1 face and 2 hands, with a slight smile, mother who gives birth to the Buddhas of the 3 times. I always bow down to you, goddess. Through this small praise to you, in order that we may accomplish enlightenment, hold us from this time until enlightenment. May unfavorable conditions be pacified and favorable conditions perfected. Om Tali Tude Mama Yorpaneshana Pushtum Kuruye Swaha. 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 Om Tali Tude 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 Swaha. Venerable Dome, I pray that you may increase and extend the life and merits of myself and all sentient beings limitless as the sky. Please prolong our lives. Please pacify illness and harm. Please purify all misdeeds and obscurations. Please make us quickly achieve the supreme and common accomplishments. Venerable Dome, I pray that you may increase and extend the life and merits of myself and all sentient beings limitless as the sky. Please prolong our lives. Please pacify illness and harm. Please purify all misdeeds and obscurations. Please make us quickly achieve the supreme and common accomplishments. Venerable Dome, I pray that you may increase and extend the life and merits of myself and all sentient beings limitless as the sky. Please prolong our lives. Please pacify illness and harm. Please purify all misdeeds and obscurations. Please make us quickly achieve the supreme and common accomplishments. All the ocean of holy Dharma, the sutras and group of tantras, having understood well, may I teach others, hold the victory banner of correct practice, and persevere until samsara is emptied. May it be auspicious. Okay, we'll go to our page 26 in our Tashi Gatsel Ling prayer book, the dedication verses. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. May say way ter chen chen rezi, di me ken pe won po jam pel yang, gang chen ke pe su gen song ka pa, Losar pe shabla so wan. Of course, we also dedicate this merits of our practice today, that all beings, as was said, will meet with authentic masters and be led to their happy, full enlightenment through following the teachings that are shown by genuine, authentic masters. May samsara swiftly be emptied, and may we all attain Buddhahood for the benefit of every sentient being. So we have a little bit of time now. As we started this practice and rejoicing celebration today, together of Khensure Rinpoche's earthly appearance, as well as the Losar Tashi Delay celebration of the Tibetan New Year's. Although we're not Tibetan, we can still party like we are, because Americans like to party. So we have our little bit of altar offering set up. But I thought if anyone wanted to share a funny story with Rinpoche, whether it was from when you first met him or something that, you know, just cracked you up. So many times there were so many funny, joyful moments, I think, that each of us encountered with him, and we can all use some laughter right now. So if you take a minute and bring something to mind, seeing him doing something, sometimes Jolie mentions him with Rufus the cat. We all have some moments, so anyone just feel free to chime in. Sharing from Zoom land, we'd like to hear and have you join us in here in the shrine room at Tashi Gatsel Ling. I don't know how it works on Zoom, but Andrea's hosting it, so whether you want to be unmuted or however you do that, please. I think there's, you raise your little hand or something to say something.
I welcome everybody, anybody who's moved to speak, to simply unmute and share with us. It's an intimate group, so no need for additional structure.
Hello, this is Sonia. Good morning.
Good morning, Sonia.
Good morning,
Good
Sonia.
morning. So this is a story about Ken Rinpoche that I was not there, but it's one of my favorite stories from a teacher of mine and also a teacher of Anila's, Dana Sawyer. And he would tell this story about Rinpoche, and it always made me laugh. And he said that Rinpoche came to visit and stay with Dana, and Dana was living in Portland, and there he lived in a duplex, and a woman had worked very hard to buy a car that she really loved. And she finally bought this brand new car, and she asked Dana if he would mind if they switched parking places, because her parking place was under the tree, and the leaves would fall on the new paint. And that would hurt her new car. And so would he be okay with switching parking places? And he said, sure, no problem. And he did that. Well, a little while later, she came and she said, do you have a cat? There's a cat that's walking on my car and leaving footprints on my car. And I just can't have that. It's hurting my car. And she said, no, I don't have a cat, sorry. And then a little while later, she came and she said, are your children putting their fingerprints all over my car? It's putting fingerprints on my brand new car and I just can't have that. And Dana was saying this to Rinpoche and his response was, oh, we should blow up her car. It's causing her too much suffering. So that's my story about Rinpoche.
Thank you, Sonia. Nice. That's a fun one.
I can tell about Rufus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if people can see me, but
Can people hear Jolie? Can you hear
Yes.
Jolie?
Yes, we can, and we can see you as well. Thank you.
okay, thank you. I had the kitten, and when Rinpoche was coming to stay with me as he did teachings around Maine, and I told him I had a cat, he was not happy because he didn't at the time like cats at all. He'd had bad experiences with cats. He was afraid of cats. And this was just not something that he wanted to have to deal with during the months that he stayed at my house. And, but Rufus decided he really liked Rinpoche. And so he used to go hide under Rinpoche's robes when Rinpoche would sit in the big chair in the living room. And we would watch television, and Rufus would go right under the robes. Rufus is a Maine Coon cat. He was gray, and he had double paws. And Rinpoche finally decided that he was going to play with him. So he had like a fishing line on a stick that had a feather at the end of it. And he would go like this, and the paws would come out from under the robes. and so he finally decided that Rufus was okay. Rufus had his own character defects, and he didn't really like everybody, and he would let you know by growling, hissing, biting, scratching. He never did that to Rinpoche, and at the end, Rinpoche was giving him blessings on the top of the head, kissing him, holding him.
Walking him on the leash.
Walking him on a leash, because I trained Rufus to go out on a leash. And when Rufus was over 17 years old and it was clear it was his time to pass, he'd been blessed so many times by Rinpoche that last day, all he wanted to do was to go in the shrine room. And he went in and he laid down in front of the Maitreya Tanka, which is here. And that's where he passed away. And I think it was his great good fortune to have been blessed by Rinpoche. And he helped Rinpoche overcome his fear of cats.
Yeah, he did a little bodhisattva action there
Yep.
too.
Yep. So that's the story about Rufus.
That was really fun to hear, Jolie. Thank you.
Yes, you knew Rufus.
Well, I have a funny, more recent one that I can share. A few years ago, I think it was in let me think about the time, 2018. In January, I had just come from, and this is from becoming a nun story. I had not seen Rinpoche for almost a year, and I was really missing seeing him. And so I knew His Holiness the Dalai Lama was going to teach in Bodh Gaya, so I decided when I came back from Russia into India to go directly to Bodh Gaya. And I was staying there with some other nuns, but I kept saying, oh, I have to find Rinpoche, I have to find Rinpoche. I knew he was there somewhere, but when His Holiness teaches there, it's tens of thousands of just red robes everywhere. So finally, I was able to get a phone number from one of Rinpoche's attendants to get in touch with Tenzin and say, where is Rinpoche? Where are you staying? He said, come, Anila, come. And I was like, yes, I would like to, but I didn't really know Bodh Gaya that well. And there's tens of thousands of people around. And it's not necessarily, even though it's a very holy place, it's not a very safe state of Bihar. There's a lot of, anyway. So I kept having this deep, deep wish of, oh, I want to meet with Rinpoche, but His Holiness was starting to teach. So every day we'd go very early to get our place, and then we'd be there for the whole morning, and then we'd break for lunch, and then His Holiness would teach a little bit after lunch. And he was going on like this for about a week, and I kept thinking, I don't have any chance to go out at dark to go and find Rinpoche's hotel. So finally, His Holiness said, well, it's going so well, the teachings, I'm going to extend teachings by another week, but I'm giving everyone this coming Wednesday off. So just enjoy, do what you need to do, go on pilgrimage a little bit. And one of my nun friends said, oh, Dasel, I really want to go to Rajgriha. I want to go to Vulture Peak Mountain where the Buddha taught the Heart Sutra. I said, oh, yes, you definitely should go. And she said, will you go with me? I said, yes. So we organized a little car that would take us. In the meantime, another nun and a lay woman were coming. And so we set off early that Wednesday morning, although I was thinking, but I really want to see Rinpoche, like it's my one day, can I possibly go to see him? And so I still had this wish, and we showed up to Rajgriha in the morning. It's very cold and dark and wet still. So I said, oh, let's get a cup of tea. And so we all get a cup of tea. I said, because no use rushing. We can go, the sun will break through and we'll go up. And so once we get up there, there's no tea or bathroom to go. You have to walk up. So we did that. And then I said to them, well, before we walk up, everyone give me your bags and go use the restroom, and I'll hold the bags. And when you're done, I'll give you my bag. So the three of them go, and they're waiting quite a while, because it's always everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. It's a long line in the ladies' room and no line in the men's room. So they came out one by one and they took their bags, and they said, oh, Dasel, it's so dirty in there. There's no water to kind of rinse out the little, squatty potties that you have to use. So I gave them my bag, and then I went, and as I was standing in line, I saw a little Vietnamese nun coming out of the men's room. And I thought, that sister has the right idea. I'm going to use the men's side, because no one was in there. And it wasn't just urinals. It was like closed in stalls, but they had plenty of water in their cistern to kind of wash out the things. So I decided, well, fair enough. I always get called a monk anyway. So I'm going in there and no one's around, and I'm just going to be quick. So I zip in, and I'm just finished very quickly. And all of a sudden the latch of the door handle on the stall that I'm in, there are tons of stalls. There are like 15 stalls that are empty, but the latch on my little stall starts to move. Then I think, uh-oh, now I'm going to shock some poor man, because I'm in the men's room. I've gotten there. So I just compose myself a bit and I get ready. I open the door, and whose hand is on the other side of the latch but our Khensure Rinpoche. I said, oh, Rinpoche. I was shocked. He was shocked. Then he's thinking he's in the woman's side of the bathroom. I'm thinking I'm busted being in the men's room. So we still totally had a shock with each other, cracking up. I said, Rinpoche, you're in the right place. Wait 1 minute. I got the water. I cleared the little bathroom out. I said, wait 1 minute. So I quickly went out, and I said to my friends, quick, give me my bag. I've got hand sanitizer. And I had just brought a katag in case I'd meet with him. I said, my teacher's in the men's room. We just met there. And they said, Dasel, what were you doing? I said, don't, I'll tell you later. So I ran back, and then I met Rinpoche as he was coming out, with like the hand sanitizer and the katag. He just kind of looked at me and gave me the little up and down eyebrows. But I showed him, I said, look, the men always have the water. No wonder they always say the male rebirth is better. They get all the resources. So that was kind of funny. And then the blessing was, so we encountered each other. And then the other nun that we were with, of course, I wanted to ask, are you here for the day? But I didn't, he was with his attendants. I didn't really feel like I could interrupt his program. But the other little nun from New Zealand said, oh, Rinpoche, can we join you today? She just jumped right. He said, sure, why not? So we had this whole nice little group of entourage of some monks and nuns and got to go up to the top of the mountain and sing prayer flags and say the Heart Sutra. And that was just like, for me, that is the epitome of guru devotion. If you really wish and pray for the guru to appear. Here. We, even in the places that you don't think that you'd want to be seen, they're going to see you. That was the other message, that, you know, we, like a Santa Claus, they know if you've been naughty or nice. They know if you've snuck into the men's room or not. Yeah. Anyway, we had a delightful rest of that day there, and then going to Nanda Ruins, and Rinpoche was giving lots of talks about, I felt like it was this old university that he was talking about, like, oh, back in the day, there were, you know, tens of thousands of monks here, and this is where the library was, and it burnt down, and it burnt for 3 months, and for all the books to burn when the Islamic invaders came in. And so that was a fun story. I mean, what I really love about Rinpoche and the Tibetans is all these tragic things do happen, and they're still so full of joy. You know, nothing gets them down. They see that the purpose of life is to keep that joy at heart, no matter what else is happening outside of the world. We can't do anything about that. But their philosophy is, why let that get you down? The world's always going to have those kinds of struggles and that ignorance and selfish greediness and hatred and wars, but that doesn't mean we have to join from our own side to get sad and worked up about everything. I mean, really, like Nalanda was totally burnt down and ruined by the Islamic invaders, but none of the Buddhists I've ever met have not one hard feeling against the Muslims. And up in Ladakh, His Holiness goes and meets with all the imams and leaders and is totally welcomed front and center of all the mosques and joins with them. So I think it's showing so much how our own mind is so critical. That's where our own happiness lies. Any other sharings of Ken Rinpoche's stories from the Sangha out there in Zoom land?
Your story is definitely very hard to beat.
Without beating them, but that one was just more recent, so I could remember that.
I'm just kidding.
I can tell another one, and that is, oh God, I don't even know how many years ago. I went with Rinpoche to New York, or to Washington, D.C. Dalai Lama was receiving a Light of Truth award, and we all stayed. It was Kathy Rogers and a lady from California. Anyway, we all stayed in this hotel, and Rinpoche knew that we all wanted to meet the Dalai Lama, but of course the Dalai Lama is a very busy person, and you can't just get in to meet him just because you want to. So Rinpoche happened to be good buddies with the Dalai Lama's younger brother, and they used to kid around all the time, and they have this thing where they pinch each other's ears.
That's a thing. Yeah, that's a Tibetan.
And anyway, so Rinpoche called him at his hotel. He called him and he said, I'd like to know if we can make an appointment to see, you know, your brother tomorrow morning. And he got him in the bathtub. The Dalai Lama's brother was in the bathtub, and he was like going, why are you bothering me now about this? But it turned out that he was, you know, just really giving him a hard time. And we did get to go and see the Dalai Lama before the Dalai Lama's day was going to start. And it was really amazing. So we got to the hotel where the Dalai Lama was, and we got to his room. And before we went in, Rinpoche was there, and he was, you know, talking with the Dalai Lama and in Tibetan. So I don't know what he was saying, but what really was wonderful was the Dalai Lama took my hands in his and held them like this and looked at me and said, thank you, which is the high point of my life. And I was so overwhelmed by that. I never even asked any questions the whole time I was there. I think I got my answer.
He answered them all.
Yeah,
in
he
that one
answered them
gesture.
all. So that was really a wonderful, wonderful thing. We actually, people asked about the Panchen Lama. We talked about that.
Beautiful.
I just said they're stunned.
Yeah. Well, it is quite stunning. There's really special karma that we have, that we've created to have this connection with such wonderful beings. Well, I guess if no one else has more to share, we can do our closing a bit now. I don't want to call back to India because it is Losar. Maybe Rinpoche is quite busy this evening, and it's a little bit now after 10 there. So
And it's
We'll
his
just-
birthday, so probably other
yes,
people.
yeah,
are calling
probably
him.
the monks are celebrating him there as well. So we'll just know that he was with us in spirit for sure. The last time he said, please pass along this message to the Sangha, to remember to stay grateful for your life and all the excellent conditions you have to have food, shelter, good companions on the path, health, and time to dedicate to Dharma practice. Always practice altruistic mind, loving kindness, compassion, peace. Think really strongly about dependent arising more than, we can say emptiness or dependent arising, but dependent arising means how things come into being. So really think about that sense of causes and conditions and how things connect, and how your practice depending on the 3 jewels help the qualities to arise. Don't judge others. The situation in the US and the world is not crazy, but based on people's karmic situation. So have compassion. The epidemic is their karma, the war is the karma, but don't judge taking sides, just wish for peace for all and happiness for all. There are 3 kinds of karma: present ripening, future ripening, and long, long, long distant future ripening, what only Buddha can see, and we don't know how it will all go. So stay humble, not judging, but grateful for our own good fortune in this life, and keep working for future lives, like putting our deposit of merit in the ocean when we dedicate for all mother sentient beings. And we need to keep calm and peaceful day and night, take restful sleep, and really turn our mind to the Dharma and use each moment as our practice. Don't waste our time on meaningless activities. And stay very humble, not proud. Stay more in noble silence, he says. Use time wisely. And he said to remember that really there's nothing wrong out there. It's our own body, speech, and mind that we have to worry about. We don't have to think about anything else about what others are doing. He said our real enemies are our own ignorance, our own attachment, and our own aversion, hatred, our pride, and our jealousy. And those are our real enemies that we have to take care of, that are inside of us. So nothing outside really has to change. If we can change those, then the whole outside will look differently. So thank you, everybody, for your precious time joining us here today. We wish we could give you all this beautiful soak offering. We have too much now, fruits and chips, and we got everything of Rinpoche's. We even got Coca-Colas, because although people are shocked by that, he really does like Coca-Cola. They think that's scandalous, if a monk or a nun drinks a Coca-Cola, but we're human beings.